Hi guys, so what I'm going to do here today is to commentate over my latest PB in this game in the glitched any percent category, and hopefully this can serve as some kind of tutorial if you're trying to learn the game. This game recently got a door skip modification, so you can cut off at least 25 minutes of the run when compared to the vanilla non-door skip version, and with that, we may expect to see more people come into this game. It's also available on emulator. Uh, a cool streamer called Levy, or Levy the Relentless, he made a nice guide on how to set this up on emulator. I'll put that information down in the description box. You can follow that and get this game for yourself. The most optimal way to play this game, or the most optimal version, is the HD remaster, which was released digitally. So it was released on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, and this is the Japanese version. So historically, this game has been somewhat difficult to get hold of because you needed to play it on console, which I am doing anyway, but you can do it on emulator. Yeah, so you need to get it on console. You needed the Japanese PSN version, which meant making a Japanese PSN account, getting some credit for that account, and downloading it, which is slightly more involved than it sounds. And the other reason that people really don't play this game is the length. This is a really, really, really long game, which for a casual playthrough is nice. You know, it's a lot of bang for your buck. You get plenty of gameplay anyway. World record for the door skip version is 1 hour and 13 minutes by Silent Caster. So there's a 25-minute swing based purely on just removing the door skip animations. That run is also very, very good. And I'd probably caveat this video by saying my run is not overly optimal. It's 1 hour and 22 minutes and some seconds, so a good 9 minutes or so behind the world record, and the equivalent with non-door skip compared to air trance is about 9 minutes behind that one too. So make notes, figure out where all the items are on the routing. What I don't do, and what so many people do is go out of the way and start picking up extra items. Keep the handgun. Don't do any of that stuff. Start with the glitched any percent category, where you get a pretty effective, powerful weapon halfway through the game. It helps you with 3 of the boss fights, makes them quite easy, but it's effectively the best way. It's the most popular category, and it is the best way to play this game or to learn this game. Once you have this category down, you can then go off to some of the category extensions, or even glitchless, which is obviously the sort of purest way to play this game, if you like. Sorry. Yeah, so start with glitched any percent. The weapons glitch or the user manual glitch, it's really easy, really simple. You just need to keep the user manual in the inventory until a specific point in the game. Not very involved, it's simple. When we get there, I'll pause the video and talk through it, but it's really easy. And yeah, and that's just about it really. So what we're going to do is just jump in, and I'll pause the game at certain intervals when I want to talk about stuff. Yeah, hopefully we can see. I'm just doing this on the fly, by the way. There's no editing, so any kind of mistakes or whatever, we'll just go with it. You can see my mouse cursor here. I'm going to use this to point at things, basically, because I don't have any fancy software to draw on top of videos, if that's possible. I don't know. So anyway, let's get going. So I'm on new game. Normal. Come on now. And my splits are up in the top left-hand corner. Don't worry too much about those. There's auto. Oh, that's pretty loud. There's an auto splitter for the emulator version, which you can use, which is quite useful. Okay, so here. Just pause here right now. You can see my inventory. So at the beginning, that guy asked you to equip the lighter, or not the guy. There's a guy outside the jail cell, and the game says maybe you should equip the lighter. I think this was done because it's a fully polygonal environment, and you get these sort of nice cool effects. So it seems to me like it's the game saying, "Ooh, look what we can do." But whatever. Equip the lighter, and you'll see in my inventory I have the rocket launcher. This is because I finished the game with an S rank, got the rocket launcher, and I like to play all of the categories. So I like to do the rocket launcher, S rank, glitchless. You won't have that in your inventory at the start, and to be completely optimal, you don't want it in there. I'm not going to shoot it in this run. I will put it away in an item box, and it's fine. That red book there underneath, this guy here, do not open that. It is the user manual for the game. Don't do anything with it at the moment. That is vital to this category. You need to use that to get the weapons glitch working later on. Just leave it in the inventory, don't touch it. Get going. And we're going to pick up the knife right away. We used the knife for the first boss fight or mini boss fight. Okay. You can skip cutscenes as well, so make sure you're skipping all the cutscenes. That guy a dodge. There you go. Down a little bit more. And we're about to meet Steve. We didn't see the cutscene, but that's where we meet the infamous Steve. He gives us we find the handgun. Handgun is equipped. We're not going to use the handgun once in this entire run. We're going to come to an item box in a moment, or something akin to an item box where you can leave items and they don't appear in the regular item box. Okay. So this is the prison. This first section is known as the prison. Pause there. This first section is known as the prison. We come here twice, so if you hear people talking about Prison 1, they're talking about this effectively. Now, before we continue, let's talk about zombies. The zombies in this game are incredibly unique. They are one of a kind, and they're only in this game. They get everything you knew about zombies from the other OGRE games. These are so different. The way the dodge was described to me in this game, and for me, it's the description that I always use. You want to get up real close, almost chest to chest with zombies. You need to get them real close to complete the dodge. Obviously, if you played RE 1, 2, 3, any of the OG games, your instinct is to try to go wide. In this game, you want to get real close to the zombies. It's the most effective way to dodge, and it's really satisfying when you get it down. There are a number of specific lines to take throughout this game. I'm not going to talk about them too much, but there's a great video by a great guy called Nurmat. It's Nurmat. He's a mod on the Speedrun boards, and he has a post in the forum there, and he's made about 20 or so videos with lines that are 100% consistent. Go give that a watch. I'll link it down below, along with Levy's guide to the setting up the emulator. Make sure you go check out that. It really helped me out a lot, and it will help you out too. But back to zombies. In this game, not only are the zombies unique, there's a very unique mechanic. And in that you can shake out of a zombie grab without taking damage. It's the only game in the RE series where you can do that I know of. Although I haven't played all the modern versions, all the modern titles even. To get out of a grab without taking damage, you need to mash really hard on the D-pad or on the keyboard or whatever, and you need to do it really quickly. There are a couple of points in this game where we know we're going to take a zombie bite. I'll point one out later on. With that, you should always be able to mash out, because you know it's coming. Otherwise, it depends on your reflexes. You just get used to it. Sorry, swig of water. You just get used to it, and it's worth mentioning that some zombies can insta-grab. It's, akin to the turbo zombies of other games almost, in that they will grab you, there's nothing you can do to get out of it, and you can't shake away without taking damage. Don't worry about those guys. You're going to encounter some of those at some point. Even the very best players get grabbed in this game. The zombies are incredibly frustrating when you first start, but ultimately become, I think, the most satisfying zombies to dodge in the entire series. The prison here, there's a couple of lines to take. I took a line that I don't usually take in this run. I usually cut through the middle of these two guys. I come around this corner and through the middle here. This time I went around the back of this guy. I saw a silent caster do that and thought I'd give it a go, and it worked out. So here, we need to drop off some items. You can't take any metallic items through this door, and so I've dropped off the knife, the lighter, and then I've used the L1 and R1 top bumpers to move up quickly. Got rid of the pistol and got rid of the grenade launcher. Into this room, Steve's here again, and we're going to pick up a item. It's an eagle emblem, I think. Now that item is metallic. We need to take it outside to use it, but we can't, so we have to make a copy. Power on for the shutter outside. We have to make a copy in this 3D scanner CNC machine thing. So head over there, turn this on, and then you're going to place the eagle emblem into this item. It's going to make a scan. And then we need to pop off and grab some material that is, for some reason, in a briefcase somewhere. Bring it back here and make a copy. It's like all of the classic RE games. If you hold in the action button or the run button, the text scrolls faster. Keep that in mind, it's quite important. That's terrible movement, but okay. Nothing to do with this item box, it just opens, so just leave. And here, okay. So now you're going to want to open this shutter. This dodge is something that you'll get. The first one you'll get really consistently, the second one can be finicky. Just hold forward and grab. There's actually a... Sorry. So we need to go in here, grab the key for the padlock, gate, and then leave. There you go. This key is for that gate there. We're going to re-enter this area several times throughout the course of the game, and so you want to open that gate. These dogs just keep running. Dogs are really tame in this game, relatively speaking, so in comparison with the other RE games, the dogs are not too much of an issue. You're going to see me take a few bites in this run, but that's really inevitable. Really, they have lines. Okay, so we're about to head into the biggest reset point in this entire game for really high-level players. Not for me, I tend to just power through and get on with it. But if you're at the very top, you need this to go well. This is the graveyard. In here, there's 4 zombies, I think. 4. And you need to run past them in a really, really tight, constricted area. Pick up a briefcase and leave. So, very, very top runs tend to have no bite or at least 1 bite graveyards, which are really difficult to replicate. This, in essence, for any of you RE3 players out there, is the equivalent of the basement, essentially. You're either going to get lucky and take none or maybe 1 bite, or you're going to get bitten by every zombie. Luckily, it's really early into the run. You know, 3.5 minutes. A bit quicker if you're faster than me. Sorry. I'm very dehydrated today. Had some beers last night. Yeah, and so I think I took 1 bite in this. Let's go in there. There's a couple of lines you can take. I tend to skip around the back of the zombies. So I go around the back of this guy, around the back of the second guy, and then I think the 4th guy grabs me. Oh, I ran into the fire. The fire does no damage, incidentally. The fire extinguisher. And then we want to take this case. Now head back out. You can see how close I'm getting to the zombies. Like that, the second zombie there was a real good indication of what I'm talking about when I mean get chest to chest with a zombie. That guy you can go wide around. And now we want to head to this gate. Okay, so I actually open the briefcase here. Some people don't. It doesn't really matter when you do this, except it's important not to force menu. And so force menuing is when you go into the menu without needing to go into it. For example, if you are really low on health and you have to pick up a health item and use the health item, that will be a force menu. Those ones are really, they don't bother me too much because sometimes you just make a mistake and have to go into it. What is the most irritating thing to watch as a runner is to watch people force menu when there's no need to, and I do it sometimes as well. And an example would be that I would use this key, leave the menu, and then go back into the menu to open this briefcase. Why would you do that? You're already in the menu, so be smart about it. Open the briefcase now. Take care of any admin when you need to be in the menu. Take care of them as much admin as you can while you're in the menu. Don't just go in there for no reason. So I open the briefcase. Incidentally, a lot of the items in this game have files attached. I just mash the cancel button, in this case X, and get out of it to get through the files as quickly as possible. Discard that key, and then we're back in here. This line is 100% effective, in my experience anyway. Really easy on the way back in.
Please deposit any
And now we're going to use the
security box.
right or left bumper to get rid of the fire extinguisher. And the piece of metal, the material that we took out of the briefcase is not metallic, so we can use it here. We're going to make a copy of the emblem. There's a first aid spray in this room. You can't take it out of the room, so if you've taken a lot of bites, just pick that up and use it now. Or rather, pick it up before you put that emblem down. Don't force menu. Pick it up, head over to the scanner. While you're in the menu, placing the material on the scanner, use the first aid spray. Okay, so zombies have just broken in for the windows. There's 3 zombies in this corridor. Their placement is different every time. I think there's 2 or 3 variations on this placement, but I could be wrong. I tend to just wing it, you know, head in there, try to react to the locations, try to get fairly close, and you should be okay. Now we're going to take the lighter and the knife. Head out. This line as well, fairly consistent. That's pretty much the end of the prison. We're going to take a left out here. Zombie placement in this room can be quite problematic. I think I got a really easy layout now for this one. And the depth perception to that door always throws me off. But yeah, so we've left the prison now, and now we're on our way to the palace, I think it's called in the game. There's a couple of herbs here, if need be. As it's happened in this game, and this run even, I didn't either. Give this crate about 7 shoves. You can actually get away with doing less shoves than I actually do in this example. But, you know, play around with that. I didn't need to push it that far in. Head to the top, and there's going to be several zombies up here. We're going straight ahead. Now, the first zombie... the second zombie, sorry, so not the first one on the left. The zombie in the yellow hat here. He will usually walk forward, so go around the right-hand side of him. If he doesn't, go to the left. Try to go right, he'll grab you. Okay, these... I need to pause here, sorry. These dogs... We're going to encounter these dogs several times coming from this gate. There's a line that works every time, and it's like this. You want to run in and just cut into the left, or Claire's left. About now. That will always work. Now we're in the palace. We're about to enter a code. In the casual run, you go up those stairs, and there's a card hidden under a desk. Password is NTC0394. I actually get it wrong in this run. Ridiculously, and enter it really slowly. Obviously, I don't need to tell you too much about this, just play around with the menuing and stuff like that, it's fine. NTC0394. Incidentally, we don't need to know this code, or Claire doesn't need to know this code before we use it, like in most RE games. However, later on in the game, there are 2 examples of sort of logic where Claire needs to know codes or know certain information before the character will do certain actions, which is kind of interesting. So they tried to introduce logic into the game, but were not consistent throughout the entire game, which is weird. Okay, this room, we're going to enter this room 3 times from this direction. There's a couple of ways to dodge this. The way I do it is worked pretty well for me. It's inevitably you're gonna get it wrong sometimes. Just keep working at it. It goes something like this. Just try to stick close to the wall, but don't really bump into the wall. It's a hard way to describe it. Spin around here, and we need to press a button here. Make sure that we're about to skip a cutscene. Make sure you skip every cutscene because they count towards the in-game timer. Pick that up. Incidentally, I haven't pulled it off yet, and I'm not sure when I do, but there's a way to cancel out the bending animation when picking up items. And it works. You press right on your controller or your keyboard and the action button in the same frame. And when we get an example of it, because I surely must do it at some point in this run, I will point it out. But it stops Claire bending over, or Chris, when he does it. It stops the character bending over and picking up the item. It saves some time. We got the steering wheel, we're about to leave. Exiting this room, just hold straight and run. Sometimes that second zombie will grab. There's nothing you can do about that, just hold straight and run. Try to leave, we're about to get a cutscene to skip. Steve is stuck in the room being, I don't know, melted or gassed or something. Same line again. There we go. The solution to this puzzle is C and E. It's the 2 gun items. You'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. So it's C and E. Do that, skip the cutscene and leave. Hold straight and run again on the way out. There are a number of points in this game where you hold straight and run. I'll point them all out because they're free. It's free basically. You're not going to take damage, or sometimes you will, but you're very unlucky if you do so. Try to remember where try to remember those locations or those incidents where you can just hold forward. Every RE game has them, and they're really useful. Okay, skip a cutscene here. It's Alfred, the commander of the base. He's threatened us or whatever. Okay, here we want to jump down. There's dogs. Sometimes that dog can be problematic. You know, again, there's not really a line for that. You're just gonna have to wing it. Down here to this, and this moment here, okay. Remember what I was saying about force menuing? This is a good example. So we're going to fight a Bandersnatch, which is a new enemy in this game. And there's a sort of mini-boss version the first time we encounter. It's a bit later on. It's about 5 minutes down the line from this. A bit less, maybe. But this is the last time that we go into the menu before that fight. So equip the knife now. Use the steering wheel. And we're going into this submarine, which takes us down to the airport. There's also a side pack in here in this on this sub. We need to pick it up with Claire. Chris also gets a side pack, which I do still pick up, but for an optimal run, Chris doesn't need the side pack. But there's a quick turn mechanic in this game. You hold down and run. In this case, X. Very useful. Make sure you use it. This ladder you can actually activate from the side, so you don't need to run around the front. Go straight down these stairs. We're about to do a zombie dodge where you want to head around the back of the zombie. It looks really tight, but if you go past the front, there's a good chance you're going to get bitten. This one now. Always go around the back, it works. There you go, like that. Very consistent. Make sure you do that. Now we want to head up the elevator, and in this room we're looking to get a card. I think it's called the biohazard card. Key card that gives us access to certain areas. This thing here, pretty stupid. It's like a claw machine from an arcade. If you let go of the button at any point, it will just drop down. You have to start again. My finger has slipped off the D-pad so many times with this, it's beyond belief. But yeah, you just want to line up the shadow over that crate, and then you'll pick it up. Quick turn, and we'll head back down the elevator around to the controller that was once behind that crate. Now we're about to encounter like 6 or 7 zombies. My method of getting out of this is the coward's method, essentially. I take the very safe route. Top runners will take one of 2 other routes. You can either head directly straight out or through the middle. I'll show you. I'll pause on the frame. You want to head in this way and pause at the wrong point. Okay, so here now. You probably won't get this line out of here based on this, but sometimes that is available. So what some of the top runners will do is head out through this way and around. Me playing it safe, I go around the back here and out. It's quite it's not 100%, but it's a lot safer than going for this one. The better you get. I mean, I've started going for this through the middle now, and I can get it, but if you want to play it safe around the back, like so. Okay, we have our card. Now we're going to head back up to the submarine. This guy here, this is one of the rare instances that you take a wide line, or I do anyway. I don't like to get too close to this guy. If he moves forward like that, you can also go around the back of him. Sometimes he'll move, sometimes he won't. Again, you just gotta play it by ear. Try to react quickly. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're heading to the training facility. There's a lot of backtracking in this game. Oh, by the way, this trigger is quite awkward, so I'd like to just get right in front of the steering wheel. There's a lot of backtracking in this game. Follow the established route. Follow the most optimal route, otherwise you're just going to get lost. You can do... One sec, sorry. I usually wait for a second, let that guy move. I'm going to take a bite here. Sometimes you take that bite. You can move around, play with it, whatever. On the way out of here, just hold straight. What was I saying? Oh yeah, you can do a number of different things in this game out of order or out of the established speedrun order, and I see a lot of people doing it. Things are done in a specific way because they're the most optimal way. Just follow the speedrun route. This worm, don't bother fighting it. Nothing happens. It's pointless. Just run past. Okay, so this in this run, I run straight to the keypad. An interesting mechanic, any doors with keypad, you don't need to go to the keypad, just head straight to the door. It can shave a little, half a second maybe. I actually do it later on, I'll point it out. But yeah, you don't need to go to the keypad. When we leave here, we're going to get a cutscene, which we'll skip, and then Alfred is trying to shoot us. He can shoot you. Deals quite a hefty bit of damage. I usually just hold down left on the D-pad and you'll figure out how to avoid it, basically. You're going to get shot inevitably at the beginning because it starts Claire in a real weird position. So strange, I don't know why, but... We're heading down here. We want to go into the room with the brown door. That's a save room with the silver door. We don't need to go in there. I've never gone in there, even from the beginning of my speedrunning this game. There are 2 herbs in there. If you're desperate, go in there, but... realistically, we're going through this brown door. We're about to fight the Bandersnatch, and we're doing it with a knife. So, famously, the knife in this game is ridiculously OP. It does damage in every frame, and you'll see this is actually an okay Bandersnatch fight. There's 2 different types of RNG. More common, he'll stretch his arm over and jump to the other side of the room. The less common, he'll just give you a slap. You want to get in close, aim down, and just swipe, swipe, swipe. Aiming down will make him miss you sometimes, which is useful. Let's just jump in there. Oh, we got a cutscene where the shutter closed down. We're going to go over, grab these machine guns. Steve needs those, and we're doing a trade for some items later. That's ammunition. We get a cutscene here to skip, and this is the good RNG. He jumps over, and you see now I'm aiming down. First swipe wasn't very good. You'll hear it. You'll hear multiple connections, like rather than one swipe. That's when you know you're getting it right. Like that one. You can see he missed me several times. You're going to take a hit in this. It's very rare to have a fight like this where you don't take a hit. I think Trance's world record, he doesn't take a hit. Which is interesting. Cutscene here, skip this. There's a second cutscene, which I forgot to skip here. Now it's Steve. Just head straight into this door. Don't kill any of the zombies. This room, you're going to enter this room as Steve, Claire, and Chris. I immediately turn left and go straight down the stairs. It lets you dodge the first zombie pretty effectively, and then the second zombie dodge, I actually get quite a bit greedy in this. I tried to go around the inside. If you go around the outside, it's a lot more consistent, but I had a thing about going through the inside, and I actually get bitten here. I do it later with Claire and don't get bitten. You know, at your own discretion. Got a little bit greedy. Don't bother killing any of those zombies. Like, I see it all the time. People try to kill those zombies. Not useful. As annoying as it can be to reset games, you need to be able to get these dodges down. So, you know, and I'm all for taking the cowardly way out in these games. I'm the king of it, but just go with it. You'll get there eventually. We're gonna get a cutscene here, and we're back in control of Claire. And there's 2 cutscenes here. This is the famous father. Head out this door. This guy here is another wide zombie. As in, he's not wide. You want to take a wide route. I tend to hug the left-hand wall. We go past this guy twice. I tend to hug the wall. You can get away with going nearby, but I like to give him a little bit of a wide berth. And then this room here, the trigger for this item is at the side. You can pick it up and just quick turn out. Later on, we're going to put a picture there. Straight out here, by the way. Hold straight and run. We're going to get a cutscene there later on. Not a cutscene, we're going to take another item there later on. And you need to be... It doesn't work from the side. Watch out for the dog. Now we're heading back into the training facility. Or through these double doors. Back out to where Alfred tried to shoot us. Again, we don't need to go to the keypad. Doesn't really matter if you do. It's just slightly... Very slightly less optimal. There's dogs out here that when you enter this room, they're lying down, so they're not problematic. On the way back down these stairs, they can be. Gonna put that plate into this, into there. There's another key card. We're heading back down the stairs and down the ladder behind the gate. I tried to bait the dogs out by taking a fairly wide line. Usually works. I think in this case, one of the dogs stays in there, but we end up okay. There we go. Down the ladder. And this now is an example of not needing to go to the keypad. So you'll notice now that I go straight to the gate. It's going to transport Claire to the keypad. Turn left, drop down right away, and then swing a right. Works for me every time. Up the steps. And into this room is the grenade launcher. There's some grenade launcher ammo in this room as well, which I don't pick up. It's over there on the shelf. You may want to pick it up. Just to be safe. Generic grenade rounds in this game are, for me, very, very, very important. And I feel like they're sort of neglected by people who are used to the series. And oh, we got it. Yeah, so they're used to playing RE and they think things like flame rounds and acid rounds are more important. And that may be the case, but in this speedrun, the generic grenade rounds are very important. In fact, the final two bosses... You only use grenade rounds, rarely. So here we're going to head to the second floor. We've just used the blue card once, and then we're going to use it here as well. No, twice, sorry. We used it on the first gate, the gate for the grenade launcher, and here. So we're going to discard this card now. You can go the long way around. You can head back through the training facility, back past Steve, and get back to this location. But you won't open the gate down the ladder. And that's important because Chris needs to get down there later on. We're not going to leave this card for him anywhere, so make sure you do that. There's 2 herbs in here. These guys don't wake up basically until you leave. Pick up that. It's the airport proof. You need 3 of those to leave. Okay, so this is one of the first logic bombs I talked about earlier. The code for this door is always 1126. To enter this room, essentially. The room that we're looking at through the camera. Now, I know it's 1126, it never changes, but for some reason Claire doesn't know, obviously, and so the game doesn't allow us to just enter the code. The code is written on this painting. So we need to head over, have this central square somewhere near the writing, and zoom in. Text is something like, oh, it's 1126. Effectively, we want that painting, and we're going to go get it. Right now. We're going to leave via this door and we're back out into the area with the dogs and Alfred shooting us. Back down the stairs and then we're going to head back through the door and there's another shutter out by the double doors. We're going to go up there and in this room we're going to get the painting which we need to acquire a key and the bowgun which we need to firstly for the weapons glitch and later to leave for Chris. We're picking up 2 items in here. We're going to meet a sort of mini-boss that called the Albinoid, which we fight in its adult form later on. Now, unless you're incredibly, incredibly lucky, you're going to leave this room with damage. I actually get really bad lucky and get zapped 3 times. Okay, that was an example of running straight to the door again, by the way, not the keypad. Anyway, I get zapped 3 times. It puts me into caution. Incidentally, you don't move that much more slowly in caution in this game, so... The best advice I ever got... Well, actually, I didn't get it. I stole it from watching Silent Caster. It's just not to heal every time you go into caution. It's not overly. You don't need to be excessive with the healing. So now, just run out of this room. There's nothing you can do. I've been zapped 3 times. I've left that room with no zaps, 1, 2, and in this case 3. Grab the bow gun. We're gonna read the file. Mash cancel to close it, and just leave this room. Now we're heading out of the double doors, and we're going back to the room where the eagle plate was. We're going to hang up that painting. Going to give us access to a key. We actually do a lot of things in that room. This room coming up in a moment. So again, I like to hug the wall to avoid this guy. On the way out, just hold straight and run. Up and run even. That. And there's going to be it's like a diorama, I guess they call it in the States. Well, we call it a miniature model, I guess. That gold key. Okay, before we leave here, the gold key. There are 2 schools of thought with this. You can either use the gold key now or use it later. The optimal way is to use it now, and I'll point out when we're about to use it. You can get away with not using it now and won't lose that much time, but it just means re-entering a room twice. Or, not twice. It means re-entering a room. So we're going to go into a room twice instead of once. You know, if you're a beginner, it's not overly important. But again, try to stick to the established route. It's established for a reason, basically. Hold straight and run. And now we're heading back to the palace. He's gone. Oh, sorry. Just whacked the mic with my water bottle. We want to grab these bowgun arrows as well, by the way. Those arrows are important for the weapons glitch later on. We're gonna get some bandersnatchers here. Don't bother fighting these guys. Just try to dodge them at all times. Sometimes you're going to take a smack. It's fine. The same line in for the dogs right now. Go. That always works. This room, this is now populated with zombies. Don't know where I was going there. And okay, so if you don't want to use the gold key now, you would go up the stairs and head out to the residence of the house. This is the way to do it. Head in here and use the gold key first. I'm gonna have this line again. There's a door hidden around this corner. And in this room, it's a painting puzzle. The clue, even in English, for this puzzle is ridiculously stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And so, just look up the solution, or do what I do. The solution is Veronica, the woman, the twins, guy with a teacup, guy with plate, sloppy, guy with a book, and guy with candlestick. Head up these stairs, and we're going to get a vase or a vase, and in this item in this game they brought back polygonal items, so you can actually look at an item, and inside this vase is an item that we need later. It's an ant object. For some reason, the Ashfords, so that girl there in the picture and her brother Alfred, have some fascination with ants for some reason. Get out of here. And now we're heading to the residence or the house. I forget what it's called in the actual game. I forget what it's called by the speedrun community. I just don't know. I actually take a bite here. And this is the first example. First of all, you should never take this bite. It's a really easy dodge. This is the first example of me mashing out of a bite without taking damage. And you'll see it now. You know you haven't taken damage because there's no, like, blood. So... I hope that was clear. By the way, this herb here, I could have picked this up. My inventory is full at the moment. So, as mentioned at the beginning, there's a nice mechanic that you can pick up a health item and use it when the inventory is full. It lets you pick up and use a health item really quickly, a lot more quickly than if you were to just pick it up if you had space in the inventory, basically. Also for this, there's a new mechanic here. So you see when we select the item, we now have 4 slots This is equip, examine, combine. This one is use. It's not on all the items, it's only available on the items that you can actually use. As in, not fire, just use. These Lugers, we don't use them. God. We never fire them, they can't be fired, so we need to use them on this door. A little later on, we're about to encounter some bats. There's bats at various points in this game, and if you equip the lighter, they won't do any damage to you. I've watched a few people learn this game lately, and they're still refusing to equip the lighter. It's the stupidest thing ever. Just equip the lighter and do it here. Again, no more force menuing. Equip the lighter here, use the Lugers. Now there's a puzzle in this room, and it helps you work out the code for the PC. The code is 1971. 1971. Again, we don't need Claire to know this. We just happen to know it. There was a cutscene before that also that I skipped. Again, skip all cutscenes. Okay, Bandersnatch. This guy can be problematic sometimes. You know, you're just going to get used to re-entering. You enter and re-enter that room several times. There's 2 Bandersnatchers coming up as well at the top of these steps. This bridge on the way back from this place the second time, so not now, is populated with zombies. I'll talk about that when we come to it. Actually a really good place to make a save and practice zombie dodging, but we'll get to that later. This first Bandersnatch, there's a specific line. I see Popo take sometimes, that worked well. I just can't get it, I usually take a slap. I'm gonna follow you up as well, just head on the way out, there's a pretty effective line. On the way in, I just take a smack. Okay, so the bats aren't gonna do us any damage because we have the lighter equipped. The first aid spray in here, and there's 2 herbs in this area. One we can't access yet, so if you need them, you can use them. Cutscene here to skip. We want to head into this. So there's 2 bedrooms, identical bedrooms, mirrored. This is Alexia's room. We want that. We want this plate. If you didn't get the vase, use the gold key early. You will not be able to take the music plate away with you, and you'll have to come back into this room when you return. If you do what I just did and use the gold key and got the item, you will only need to enter this room once. There's a silver key on this bed. We need this for 2 rooms. Incidentally, don't be tempted to use the silver key on the second room before the first room just to make space in the inventory. We're about to enter the second part of the prison, or prison 2. Want the inventory full. It can help you out big time in terms of healing. Okay, so we want to put this thing onto the music box, and we want to take this plate, spin around, and take the key. Interesting contraption to have over a bed. Okay. You'll notice I'm not healing. I may grab this fast. So the room we're about to head to in a few moments is a ridiculously annoying room. It has 2 Bandersnatchers in. We need to pick up an item. You're going to take a lot of damage unless you get really, really lucky. I've died in here twice recently. It's very annoying. I'll show you in a moment. The way out here, edge in slightly towards the Bandersnatch, and in this one you want to go around the right hand side as we look. Claire's left. Should always be okay with that. Down here, and once you go through this door, you want to just cut in the room. Sometimes you're going to take a smack from the Bandersnatch, sometimes you aren't. But anyway, the first silver key room we're about to go to, you pretty much want to be at full health, or as close to as possible. And it's a very, very important place to learn the quick pickup, the bend cancel animation. It can help you out a lot. I usually do it in this room, so we'll see. But yeah, this room can get really rough. Got lucky there, actually. I didn't even do the bend on cancel animation. That is incredibly lucky. What happens is, if you don't do the bend cancel animation, they slap you away even as you're bending down to pick up the item. You can be slapped away from the item. You won't pick it up. Very frustrating room. Okay, now we're heading back. This is the last time we're going to encounter these dogs, because when we get back here, Wesker is here. Bandersnatchers, I like to try to get close to them. Sometimes you'll get tagged. Again, there's a couple of herbs waiting down at the bottom of this staircase. Remember, our inventory is full, so we can use these herbs without needing to actually re-enter the menu after we pick them up. I'm not going to get them. I think I might get one on the way back. We'll see. There's also a first aid spray in the doctor's office that we're about to encounter soon. Go back to the prison. There's a couple of really neat mechanics in the prison. I'm not sure I was employing them at this point. I may have been. I'll talk about it when we get to it. Again, something I've stolen from Silentcaster. It's this one now. So, skip into this gate. So here now, what we're about to do is enter the plate into here, and you get a short cutscene that you can't skip, and then that door slides open, and there's 2 zombies behind it. Now, for the longest time, I was taking grabs here, and it was just unavoidable. We want to equip the grenade launcher, because we're going to use it in the next room, or the room after the next, sorry. What happens when you go into the inventory in this game is that moving items like doors or hidden bookcases or whatever still move. And so, what I do now, and the most optimal way to do it is to enter the plate. Actually, let's see if I do it. I wasn't sure if I'd done it in this run or not. Oh, I did. So I've entered the plate. Now I've gone back into the menu. And while I'm in this menu, that door is opening. By the time I've equipped the grenade launcher, for some reason, I'm allowed to slip past the zombies. Beforehand, I'm not. I don't know why it is. And I have no idea why that works. Weirdest thing. This guy here, you want to cut on the inside like that, and then on the way out, you want to come on the right as we look. Where's left? Here, we need to leave this room and re-enter right away. That body bag is another mini boss. It's a doctor. He has a glass eye that we need. I'm not very good at this fight. You can take out both of these guys at one shot. They tend to mess it up a lot. You need to use the grenade launcher on this guy. Again, I've been watching people learn this game lately, and they're trying to shoot him with the handgun. You shouldn't even have the handgun at this point, but whatever. Shoot him with the grenade launcher. There's plenty of grenades in this game. Just kill the guy. We need his glass eye. I actually missed them, which is awful. Okay, that was an example of the quick pickup. Wasn't expecting that. Let's see if we can rewind this back slightly. Okay, watch now. As I get over the item, I'm pressing right and action on the same frame. Claire won't bend over to pick the item up. See that? It's a lot quicker, and it's something that you really need to master. This here is another instance of doing stuff in the menu. Again, I'm not sure if I did do it here. What happens is we put the eyeball into the statue. I didn't do it. Put the eyeball into the statue. We also want to equip the lighter because there's bats down this hallway. But if you put the eyeball into the statue, leave the inventory menu, and then re-enter, the hidden passageway door will be opening at the same time, and you can equip the lighter without having to wait for the door to open. It saves a microcosm of time, but if you're one of the top guys, you want to be doing this. I re-entered the menu because I was thinking about doing it. But I had already equipped the lighter. This room, you want to take a line, much like this one. It's quite crowded, but it's tends to be okay. On the way out, there's a dodge. Actually, this is our first instance in this room of an intentional zombie bite, and you should always be able to mash out of this bite without taking damage, because you know it's coming. Let's see. So we need to take this sword. It's going to activate a trap. What we do is we spin the statue around by pressing that handle or whatever it is. You'll see. Keep an eye on the zombie, and you'll see how I mash out without taking a bite. No blood shoots up, so it's not. No damage is being dealt. There's an SRT for this game if you're playing on emulator, and you'll be able to see that there's no health being taken, basically. There you go. It's the piano roll. Now we're about to leave the prison, and when we get back to the palace, we're going to do the weapons glitch. This zombie here is really difficult to dodge. Got it there. Very rarely get that. Be prepared to be grabbed there and shake out of it without taking damage. On the way out here, our inventory's full, so we can pick up this first aid spray. I didn't actually get it, I don't need it. There's a first aid spray in that cabinet. You can grab it and it's going to give you a real nice fast heal. So we're just head back to the palace, and we're going to go up the stairs and use the silver key. We'll discard that, and then we'll get into the weapons glitch. That was a really dumb place to take a bite. The weapons glitch, people, for some reason, some of the newer runners I've been watching are reluctant to use the glitch. Please use the glitch. It's the best way to learn this game. It's the most popular it's the most popular category. And if you want to be a purist, that's great. Learn it this way and then never use it again. I've also done runs without glitchless. For a beginner, they're very annoying. For me, who's like a semi-beginner, they're very annoying. The tyrant fight is annoying as hell, basically. Look a slap there. No dogs here because we're about to meet Wesker. Skip the cutscene. All cutscenes are available on YouTube. So we're heading up the stairs, and I'm going to swing a left. The zombie dodge at the top of the stairs. You want to go around his left, basically you want to hug the wall on the way back, and then you want to go around the near side to us on the way back through. Quite consistent. Yeah, we need to pick up these explosive rounds, and so I think I force menu here, but you actually don't need to. So what's happening here? This is the weapons glitch. We want to put this item into the piano, and it gives us a separate item. Forget that for now. What we need to do is, this needs to be still in the inventory. You need your bowgun to be here, and you need the bowgun arrows to be in the next item slot. Anyone who plays Resident Evil knows that the slots go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They don't go down and up. So we know that when we remove this item from the inventory, the knife is going to shift left. This card's going to the top right. Gun, that there, and that there. For some reason, this glitch tricks the AI. No, not AI. It tricks the game into thinking that we still have this weapon equipped, but it accumulates the number of arrows or rounds that we have based on the number of arrows we have in this quiver. I'm not sure how it works exactly. I think I watched the Carson Engine video where he explained it a bit better. I'm not a tech guy, so I don't know. Basically, it needs to be the next item in the inventory. If you're following the speedrun, and you should be following the speedrun route and the inventory management precisely, this is what your inventory is going to look like. What we want to do is to combine the explosives with the arrows. Now we have 10 explosive arrows. Really OP weapon. Sorry. Such dry mouth. Really OP weapon. And what we can do here, we can trick the game into allowing us to have 30 of those arrows instead of 10. And then when we combine this 20, we will have 50 of them, which is really useful. So what we want to do, combine those and make sure you have the 10 explosive arrows in there. It's equipped up here. I'll actually just combine those. And this is really important. That went really quickly, so let me rewind it back. You can read the user manual from the menu. So you can click on it and it will give you an option to read. Don't do that. You need to go up here to the file menu and open the first file in the blue folder. That is the user manual. That's how you perform the glitch. So combine. I combine the arrows here. File, open the first file, user manual, close. Okay. And now you'll see. This quiver is now occupying the item slot, the inventory slot that the bowgun was previously occupying. And if you look up here, we have 50 arrows equipped. All of these arrows are explosive, so we have 50 explosive arrows. Incidentally, we can put this weapon back into the item box, and we do that later for Chris, and it still has 10 explosive arrows. And Claire retains the bowgun. It's a really weird glitch, really useful. Make sure you do it. Cool. I actually didn't leave the menu there that time, which was a nice example of not forced menuing. Well done, me. So, if you didn't quite get that, you know, pause the video, rewind it back. Just watch what I'm doing. Don't listen to my rambling. Just follow the sequence that I thought that I performed. Incidentally, you can do that with any of the weapons. You can do it with health items. For the purpose of this speedrun, we want to do it with this. Okay, so we're going to come to the bridge in a moment, and it's going to be full of zombies. Unnecessary smack. This is a very good room. Practice zombie dodges. Sometimes I shoot the first zombie. You don't need to. Let's see what we did. On the way back, you want to just run straight. Here. Oh, I took a bite. Yeah. So that was my own fault. I got too close. You know, it's a real Three Bears situation. You know, it's very Goldilocks. You don't want to be too far away. You don't want to be too close. There's a sweet spot for every zombie. That's a great area to practice. Way back through. These guys are no trouble on the way through. They are there on the way back. It's the same line as before. Well, this room is full of zombies. Just head straight to the stairs. Don't bother with those two guys. I like to shoot these zombies. Do I shoot this guy? Yeah. Oh, I missed. Glorious. I shoot these two zombies usually. And then there's a zombie through this door that you absolutely have to shoot. Well, I didn't shoot him for some reason. And bet that guy gives me a bite on the way out. For having the audacity to not shoot him. You need to shoot that guy there. And now we need to head back here. We're going to put in the blue ant and the music plate. It's going to activate this very weird contraption that no one should ever have over a bed. But okay. We're going to head up this ladder, and we're going to get the second proof, which are those little medallion things. We need 3 of those to leave the island. So in this room, there's a herb in this room, actually. I didn't get it. We want to pick up this item. This is another item that you want to interact with. The herb is just on the left there, actually. You need to examine this item, and you can take off the wings. It becomes a key. Here we go. Okay, you're actually spun around there already, so you can just head right up this ladder. And now we need to shove this box. 5 shoves will do it. You can actually do 4 and a little bit. I usually just do 5 to be safe. You don't need to go all the way to the end. You're gonna get a file to read, don't read it, and then there's the proof. That file is quite interesting in English. You should give it a read if possible. It's basically just Alfred expressing his love for his sister. How he's her servant and blah blah blah. Skip a cutscene. Now examine the wig. Skip all of these cutscenes. They're kind of interesting, but skip them. Now just leave. It transpires that Alfred has been dressing up as his sister. Yeah, there's the obligatory bite because I didn't kill that guy. The really good runners can go through this room without really needing to kill many zombies. That zombie placement was quite unfortunate, but on the way at the bottom of the staircase, you know, just adjust. Here again, now hold straight here. You should be okay. Sometimes you'll take a bite and you just can't avoid it. This last guy I tend to give a bit of a wide berth. Yeah, sometimes you're gonna get insta-grabbed when you're holding straight and running. You know, just take it for what it is. Unlucky. You know, 99 times out of 100, you're going to get good luck. Okay, so now we're about to leave the island, but first we have a couple of boss fights and some admin to take care of. Out here, there's been an item shining in our face for the entire duration. We want to grab it now. Don't grab it early. It's the final proof. We got a cutscene here. We got a second cutscene here. We're gonna leave. At the bottom of these stairs, there are more arrows. You don't need them. I would suggest grabbing them. I'll pause so you can see them. If this is your first run, I would suggest grabbing them. You don't need them, but it's a nice safety net. They are right there. You know, you can just run over and pick them up. Yeah, Steve does all of this stuff for us, so this is a nice place to take a break. Sit back, relax, hydrate, check posture, check Twitter, you know, jump on Tinder, you know, swipe left, swipe right. Okay, got a fairly weird glitch there. Usually you arrive at the bottom of that staircase and it jumps straight to a cutscene. I actually had to turn left. Quite rare, you know, loses a second or so. No biggie for somebody at my level, but that's good. Okay, so now dodge past those guys. The game gets quite laggy here on console and on emulator, so don't worry about it. You need to head to this console, press this button. We're going to enter the free proofs into the console and head down to the airplane. Now the airplane is blocked by a bridge and we need to do some work to basically lift up the bridge. In that time, we're going to face off with a tyrant, and then we're going to face off with him again on the plane itself. Which arguably the most well-known boss fight in this game because it's so difficult for a beginner, and it's just dumped upon you. Oh god, smacking the mic. Pick up this handle. This is a point where a lot of people give up on this game casually. They will give up on this game because you can basically arrive at this point and not have the requisite ammo. It's very easy to do. Okay, that was quite greedy. You can go around the back of that guy, the second guy. I chanced the inside and got away with it. We're heading back up the elevator. We're going to raise the bridge, cross the bridge, pick up an airport key, and then we'll be able to escape through that door on the left there. Yeah, there's a couple of very, very strange and really poor mechanics in this game, and it centers around the switching of characters. So this is the first game where you're automatically switched to a different character mid-game. So you go Claire, Chris, Claire, Chris. And if you don't know that, and how could anyone know in the first playthrough, whatever you have in the inventory as Claire or as Chris is not transferred to the other character. But if you don't put it in the item box, you don't have it with the other character. You can avoid this by just paying attention to the speedrun route and when I enter the box and when I don't enter the box. There's a temptation when you head back as Claire. There's a couple of pretty arduous moments. There's potential to get crushed because of a weird trap. And then you obviously have Steve, which is a very famous boss fight in this, which is not really a fight, you just run. And it's virtually impossible to not to avoid taking damage. You can avoid taking damage in the Steve fight, we'll get to that later. But the reality is you're going to take damage. Back to the point. The temptation to... When you play as Claire again, you don't know you're going to go back to Chris. And so the temptation to take all the items out as Claire is great, basically. And then it's a mistake that everyone makes. They leave all the items on one of the characters and can't use them for another character. And then you're going back to a save, or you're restarting the game. Okay, so we're going to get dumped out in the training facility. We're going to get the first Tyrant fight. This guy takes 17 or 18 bowgun arrows, I'm unsure. I'm pretty sure he also has iframes when he's on his way down. Because if you watch the staircase in the background, you'll see that one of my arrows hits the staircase. So I'm not sure how many arrows it is. It's 17 or 18. I tried to count, but... Okay, well one actually hit at the end. I usually get one hitting the staircase in the middle of the fight. The second time we fight that guy, it's 24 arrows. Give him 25 if you're unsure. We want for good luck, but it's 24 arrows. There's a fight later on, Nosferatu. I forget how many arrows that is, it's 30 something. Again, this is information that I really should know. The info is out there. You'll be able to find it. It's like 17 or 18, 24 for this guy, and I think it's like 33 or something for Nosferatu. It effectively makes 3 of the boss fights obsolete or really, really easy, or memes, I guess people say. And you know, if you want the challenge, you know, you can play this game without the glitch, but learn the game with the glitch. It's a very big game. It's a huge map. There's a ton of back and forth, especially when you get to Chris. Oh God, pardon me. So Chris visits the island before he follows Claire to the Antarctica, which is where Claire and Steve are going now. And the amount of back and forth is ridiculous. And there's even been a change to the routing since I made this video or done this run. I'll comment on that later. It saves about 5 seconds or so. I'll talk about it. Skip the cutscene, and then here we go. This is actually really slow. Dropped a few inputs. Incidentally, when you're fighting that guy for real, i.e. not with the glitch, you know when he's ready to go. He starts limping and moving really slowly. Incidentally, that save point there, that's where the disc was changed on the Dreamcast. You can make a save there, and it doesn't count towards the saves at the end. At the end of the game, you get a screen with number of saves, deaths, retries, and you're given a ranking. Now, the number of saves you do affects that ranking, but you don't get it. You don't get a save for saving there. Also, a great point to make a save first run, because what tends to happen is people will play this game, and they're just stuck on the opening section, the island essentially, for the longest time. You get to know this first 40 or so minutes really intimately, and then the rest of the game is neglected. And when you finally make it off the island, you tend to be quite clueless. Make a save there and just practice, and make a save for just Chris and just practice that as well. Best advice I was given. Okay, so now this part goes really quickly. Just follow this exact route, this exact routing. Don't go in this door here. There's a bunch of zombies. You don't need to go in there. Right, we want to head down this corridor, and this is where we get the moths, which are by far and away the most annoying enemies in any of the games, in my opinion. And my opinion is correct. So you can be very easily poisoned by them, blah blah blah. You respawn, don't bother killing them. So we want to head into this room first. We didn't see the door, but this is the BOW room. There's 2 spiders in here. We're going to grab a barcode. Try to do this line. There's a line that's fairly effective. Sometimes I mess it up, so I may not do it in this. I may not get it. We'll see. You can get stun locked by these guys, and it gets pretty ugly. We got lucky, and we're out. Go here first. Now we want to go straight across to the weapons room. Don't worry about that box or what's on that box. It's the Magnum. We don't need it. Come in here to get a key. This is the key for the mining room. The mining room key. Back out. This key opens the door at the top of this staircase. Here now. Up the stairs, clear. Thank you. Discard the key. Now you can do this one of 2 ways. You can go and switch on the power, then check the valve, or vice versa. This one, some people kill that dog, I don't. If you're quick enough and efficient enough, you can get out of here without taking a bite. I don't think I did in this run, I'm not too sure. But you know, practice makes perfect. There's a dog in here too. Don't neglect to throw the second switch. People forget all the time. I forget all the time. We've taken a couple of nasty bites. There we go. But that didn't go well. But it's good, it's fine. Okay, this is the second moment of logic in this game. Claire needs to know what shape this valve hole is. And then later on she's going to do some CNC milling to shape a valve into that shape. If you don't check the valve, she doesn't know what the shape is, and you can't make the valve, essentially. Again, logically it makes sense. In the scope of a Resident Evil game, maybe not. Okay, so turn the power on here. We need to throw that switch, and then we're going to attach the barcode to this crate and throw the switch again. I'm in orange caution. Not too much of a big deal, really. There's already 3 players out there sweating profusely watching this, but it's okay. So what's happening here? We're sending this gas, P epsilon gas, I think it's called. I don't know the law very well. It allows us to access this gas mask, which we need later on. You can do this a little bit later, but just do it now. Don't do that. Now we're heading back out to the moths, and we want to go to the save room for the first time. If you get grabbed by a moth, mash really quickly. It can lay eggs on your back, and it's very annoying. Push this bookcase. We get a quick cutscene with this rat that's like developer's inside joke or some I forget what it's called. That rat appears periodically throughout the game for no reason. Here you can start moving before the door is fully open. Skip that, and there's a plant pot in the corner. That guy down there is Nosferatu. That is Alfred and Alexia's father. He's a boss fight later. Pick up those arrows, and now into the inventory box, leave the grenade launcher and the bowgun arrow. Put them both in. Incidentally, I didn't mention this before. While you have the glitch activated, do not equip any other items or it cancels out the glitch. Be very careful not to equip any other items, or otherwise you'll have to reset. Or at this point you will have to fight Nosferatu with the sniper rifle, which is not that bad, but it takes practice. So, grenade launcher and into the box for Chris. He needs both of those items to finish the game. If you don't give them to him, you can't do it. We want to leave, and we're going up to the second floor of the main room. The main room we were in just now. We want to switch to the right, Claire's left. And on the bottom, on the bottom of this plant pot is a key for this room. Machine room. I guess this whole room is called the machine room. In here is a through this door is the valve handle. Got a quick pickup, which is nice. Save a little second or so. Now we get a cutscene with Steve, where Steve, he's operating heavy machinery while basically looking at Claire's ass, and he floods the base with gas. So we now need to shut off the gas valve. We head over to this room here, and this is the room where we. I think I'm actually gonna pick up a herb here. Yep. This is the room where we machine the valve. Stick it on there, and because we already know, or Claire already knows, the shape of the valve, she can use her engineering skills. There we go. Okay, so we're pretty much at the end of the Antarctic. At the end of playing as Claire, except for one moment a bit later on in the game. So we're about to switch to Chris. So we want to head down here. Beware of the moths one more time. If you're poisoned, which I think I am at the moment, you can head to this blue planter. Oh, I'm not. And you can heal. I picked up that herb, remember? I'm not going to just use it. I'm not going to force menu. I'm going to use it when I have to use the valve, which is now. Go into the menu. Oh wait, I did use it. I used it when I placed the valve onto the CNC machine. So I didn't force menu. I just wasn't paying attention. Here, in the casual run, you'll pick up that sniper rifle. Don't do it here. This is the Nosferatu fight. Now, this guy, he can poison, and you can't heal the poison with the blue herb. If you get poisoned here, the run is over, essentially, because when Chris eventually discovers Claire, if Claire is poisoned, Chris has to go get some serum. Similar to the whole Richard Bjorn scenario in RE1. And it just wastes too much time. So the run will be over. What I do is I run to a corner. This corner on the bottom right of our screen has a first aid spray that I like to pick up in preparation of the Steve boss fight later on. So I head over here, pick it up, and then you just want to lay every arrow you have into Nosferatu. Again, this is... No, he's done. I'm unsure how many it takes once again, but... Yeah, he's done. Okay, so now we're on to Chris. Skip a bunch of cutscenes here. And we're about to have another mini-boss. It's the worm. So the worm that we didn't kill earlier, we're about to kill now. Straight into the item box, and we want to take out the grenade launcher and the bow and arrow, put the gun away. I put the first aid spray away sometimes as well, just for Claire, in case Claire needs it. Okay, now, this worm can be problematic. I've been following a strategy that Silent Caster does, where he walks slightly, hugs the wall, and it's worked fairly consistently for me. You can only do damage to the worm when it screams. It makes a screaming noise when it comes out of the ground, and you need to hit it with 4 explosive rounds. If you don't hit it, the run's not over, but you're going to lose a fair amount of time. If you don't hit it, just head over to the elevator, activate the elevator, and then either dodge the worm until it's active, or leave the room back into the save room and come back in, and you can just leave via the elevator straight away. So I walked a little bit of a run. Well, that didn't work. What a great example for the people. Okay, so at this point, I think I just... What am I doing? What on earth am I doing? Okay, I've decided to just... Okay. I got 3 shots off. I needed 1 more, so I waited. That was an awful, awful, awful worm fight. So take a look at some of the runs to figure out how to do that better. Even some of my other runs, I do that a lot better. 4 explosive rounds will take care of that guy. Here, okay, so this part of Chris is a lot of back and forth. We're going to go up and down the elevator several times. If it helps, write down the order. And make sure you do this in order. I'll talk about it a bit later on. So we're going to head down to the training facility or down to the the yard where the worm used to be. Now, at that point, you can go to the airport or you can go down to the section where we got the grenade launcher and get a chemical. You can do either, you can do it in both orders, and I keep seeing people do the chemical first. Don't do the chemical first, go to the airport first, because if you do the chemical first, you're going to have to come back on yourself twice. Waste way too much time. Just go to the airport first. I feel like people don't go to the airport first because you have to deal with a bunch of hunters. Incidentally, with Chris, you're now facing a bunch of hunters. They're not that problematic in this game. The hunters really aren't. You know, you should be able to avoid most of them without having to fire a shot. Some you have to kill. There's also a poisonous version of the hunters called sweepers. Again, can be quite problematic. We'll pick up a safety blue herb. I'll point that out later. Just make notes and try to follow this routing. This is the most optimal way to do it. Maybe not the most optimal movement from me personally, but the routing is the correct way. We want to head out here, activate the elevator from the tank, and head down here. And there's a battery. Pick up the battery, and we're about to be confronted by a spider. 2 spiders. Hug this wall. The left hand as we look, Chris is right. Just hug this wall. 100% avoid the spider every time. Don't shoot it. Don't waste ammunition. I've already wasted so much ammo with that awful worm fight. Don't waste any more. Head back into this room. That battery is required to lift up a small elevator, which gives us access to the 2nd floor. Pardon me. That guy there, you can dodge. I got a dodge on him, but he's going to grab me anyway. Be aware. You can get him off without taking damage. You're okay. Up here, you want to swing a left first. Pick up the chemical storage key. Read that. Out here. We need to enter this room. We're on the 2nd floor. So there's herbs here if need be. Skip these cutscenes. There's a couple of herbs there. You shouldn't need them. Right. First thing with Chris. Basement. Head down to the basement and you will notice that this metallic staircase is now down for some reason. And we're able to head down it. There's a shotgun down there. Don't pick it up. We'll pick it up on the way out of this area. The new routing, you actually don't pick that up. The shotgun can be fairly useful for a backup if need be, but ultimately you shouldn't never need the shotgun in this game. I'll talk about the change in routing a bit later on, where we're not going to pick up the shotgun, but in this run I pick up the shotgun. Again, I've been watching some people learn this game recently, and they keep picking up the shotgun every time they come down those stairs. Just don't. Learn how to dodge the hunters. Don't bother killing them. Waste too much time. It's far too risky. There's a herb in this corner as well, down here, if you need it. Okay, this room. There's 2 items in this area. There's a doorknob. Don't grab the doorknob first, otherwise you're giving yourself a lot of work. When you grab this doorknob, you're confronted by 2 hunters. So if we run over there and grab this now, we have to escape 2 hunters into this room. When we go in this room, we pick up a chemical. If you pick up the doorknob first, we get an extra poisonous hunter in this room, and you have to deal with the 2 hunters again. So you're crossing paths with 2 regular hunters twice instead of once, and you're getting a poisonous hunter. Just go into this room and pick up the chemical. Please. I pick up this blue herb for safety. In my more recent ones, I'm not. This contraption, we have to adjust the temperature. It's 12.8. The clue is somewhere else in the game. It's at the diorama or the model. It's the date of the facility was opened. So if you had picked up the doorknob here, a poison hunter comes out of this. It's great. We're all clever. We don't do that. Back outside. Now grab the doorknob. There's a couple of ways to potentially escape these hunters without taking damage. Taking one swipe is fine. You can run forward, do a line, ice spin around, and try to go wide. There you go. Back through here. If for some reason you've taken a lot of damage there, again, there's a herb hidden in this corner. Can't see it because the game is really, really dark. So now we have the doorknob. We're heading up to the second floor. 2F. Very easy to get lost in this area. I still do it now. Out here, there's a couple of zombies. Just run past them. Out here, you get an unskippable cutscene. Essentially, the goal of the whole Chris Island part is to obtain the golden halberd that's encased within that emblem. So we need the free proofs. We need to acquire that emblem. To acquire the emblem, we need to get the free proofs that we collected earlier, and then we need to use the chemicals to dissolve the blue part of the emblem, and we get the halberd. That's the whole point. I'm picking up a side pack here. Top runners don't do this. I do it. Incidentally, those drones, if you run into the path of those drones, you're confronted by a hunter. This one's pretty easy to dodge. Just be careful. Out this way, and we're going to use the doorknob on this door coming up soon. Quite finicky. But here we go. Got there in the end. Finger left here. As Chris, alright. And there's a tank object. This goes into the diorama or the model on the first floor. God. Again, I usually wait. Back through here, and then the two zombies are still here. Just cut in past them. They're fairly easy to dodge. There we go. Now to the first floor. We're going back into the painting room. The room with the diorama or the model. There's a hunter drone here. I've been getting caught by it lately for some reason. I'm not sure if I do here. I'm being very, very conservative. This is actually ridiculous. There we go. You can do it much faster than that. That was just... Basically, I was traumatized by getting caught by that so many times that I took it ultra safe. Over here now is the turntable key, and you can see there's a space for those free proofs. This turntable key will get us down to the... will allow us to get to the airport. It takes us up to the training facility. The yard, so we want to head to the basement again. The yard where the worm was originally. When we played as Claire. That's where we're trying to go, and we want to go down the yellow elevator that we used to travel up before the first Tyrant fight. Up here, there's a cutscene with Wesker. He slaps Chris around a lot, and then we have a Bandersnatch. Just run straight. Take a slight right hand curve, and tends to work. Sometimes he'll get you, but all in all, pretty simple. The hunters are gone, by the way. These hunters are gone, so we're all good. Turntable key. We only want to travel on this turntable once. I keep seeing people travel on it several times. We only need to travel on it once, and that comes back to the people who go to get the chemical first. This here This is a junction. Out of these two doors is two hunters. You're going to go down the elevator and to the airport. On the way back in this yard, the two hunters are gone to be replaced by poison hunters or sweepers. We don't want to fight them, we just want to try to dodge them. If you swing left, so if you come towards the screen as we look now, that's the way to get the second chemical. Do that second, do this first. Out of here, we want to try to angle ourselves towards the silver shutter. I've took a swipe, that was a bad line. You can avoid that hunter. It's very, very doable. Down here, there's some health items. There's some grenades, which I sometimes pick up. I forget if I do it here. Here, you need to be quick. Spin a left, jump onto the elevator. Once you're on the elevator, he can't get you. Out here, and basically the controls for the bridge are broken. So we need to play around with a quite potentially frustrating puzzle here. There's two ways to do this puzzle that I know of. I did the less optimal way, but I persevere with it because it's muscle memory. It's in the brain. If I try to change it up now, I'm just going to make mistakes. I do 3, 3, 5, and then drain. So down here on 10, then 5, 3, 3. There's a more optimal way to do this, but this is just the way I do it. Again, look up some of the top runs, Silent, Popo. They will do it the efficient way. Okay, so as soon as we move, we're going to activate some zombies. Don't fight them, don't be tempted by that item. It's shotgun shells that we don't need. Just leave. On the way out here, remember to lower the bridge. The amount of times I've run straight past this control, travelled downstairs, dodged a hunter, to find that I haven't lowered the bridge is ridiculous. It's very easily done, of course, but, you know, don't do it. Back here again, we just want to take a very specific line off this elevator to the door, and the hunter should not get you. Sometimes he gets me, but he really shouldn't. And there's a hunter here. What you want to do is run along this edge, and you can either take an inside line or an outside line. Periodically you will be swiped. Just practice, go with it, and you'll get it eventually. These guys have explosives on the back, so do not shoot them. Okay, this hunter out here. So hunters are deaf within the sort of lore of the game. They can't hear you, so if they can't see you, they won't do any damage. I take this quite conservatively, and I walk around the back of the hunter, and I never activate him. The same with the hunter on the bridge on the way back, you'll see. So I just creep around the back. You have to switch off the electricity, pick up the proofs, and then on the way out, you can just run. You can run to the hunter's left, versus left or right, and you can dodge this. You can dodge a swipe. You might take a swipe, but whatever. I tend to wait until he's out the way, run out. These guys can be slightly more problematic on the way back through, but there we go. Okay, not too bad. And here, I take a couple of steps first before running. If that hunter sees you, he may leap and swipe. Here, just hold up, run, and mash action. We'll dodge every time. Okay, on this run, I didn't pick up health, and I didn't pick up the grenades. Again, a really great tip for this game is don't heal too much. Poison hunters. If they swipe you, they may poison you, and just use the blue herb. This room, there's 3 zombies to dodge. The first one, just hold run forward, sorry. Just hold up and run. The second zombie, I have a real hard time dodging for some reason, but I'll feel it out. Here, there's a zombie on the floor that will grab you if you run too close. Down the ladder, and we want to activate the fans in this room, which is a lever on the left-hand side as we look. This is right, there you go. And now we're back in this room. We want to head back to where we got the grenade launcher. There's a hunter in the room. Just hold up, forward, whatever, and run. Mash the action button. Incidentally, you can't climb stairs when a zombie is on the stairs, which is why I couldn't get up there immediately. Hold forward. Mash action. On the way back out, he's not looking. And you can grab the grenades off that shelf if need be. So he's not looking, so if you want to grab the grenades, take them. I may do. There we go. I may also grab grenades somewhere else, I think, on the way to the Albinoid fight, which is coming up. Here again, got a bit greedy, but we got away with it. Now we're heading to the first floor. The drone won't be there, so now we're heading just into the room with the model diorama, the paintings. And this is the Albinoid fight coming up. It can be quite dangerous. Be very careful. Don't try to fight the Albinoid. Just grab the item and leave. So when we enter the proofs here, we're going to have a secret passageway or a ladder. Down there's grenades, a herb, and 2 spiders. On the way through, the spiders aren't really problematic. On the way back, there's a line to take. But yeah, the Albinoid. I would suggest looking up other runs for the Albinoid fight. Different runners do it in different ways. Okay, so I'm grabbing the grenades. And that's all the grenades I need for this run now. I don't need any more. That should be more than enough. There's actually herbs there. Okay, I'm going to grab one. I was quite conservative here because, again, I have had problems with this boss. This cutscene can't be skipped. Pretty cool music, actually. I like this fight. Even though it's not a fight. Don't fight him. So we want the item in the middle. He can charge you. He can send out shocks in the water. He's got me. Oh. So we got the quick pickup, which helps. Now we're just going to leave. So that really wasn't bad at all. It wasn't the most optimal way to do that fight, but... And as you can see, I'm losing time. But... Just get out of there with the item. It can be really dangerous. Seems really benign, and once you've played the game a lot, it is, for the most part. But if you're on orange caution, that's a very, very dangerous fight. Okay, so... This is what I was talking about with the route change. The traditional way to do this in the non-door skip version is to head down to the basement, down the metal staircase, grab the shotgun, travel up the ladder, and then leave. Actually quicker to go to the second floor, back down the sort of electronic lift that you obtain the battery for, out, down via the tank, and leave. For me, it's been about 5 seconds faster, and that's purely because of the lack of door animations. You actually go through more doors going to the second floor, but the basement route, you have to actually watch the shotgun lever animation lifting up and the staircase lifting up, so it wastes more time. Either way, I mean, you may want to take the shotgun for some extra security, but it's really up to you at this point. An optimal run will take the second floor route these days, I feel. So we have to watch this thing, we have to watch this. Actually waste a significant amount of time in comparison with the alternate route. Okay, and so this is the end of Island 2. Is combine the chemicals. I'm going to combine the grenades as well. Those chemicals melt whatever the blue part is made out of, and we have a halberd. This takes us to the Antarctic. We need to use the halberd again. The next item to use. Again, just follow the routing. Okay, these guys. Nice trick here. there's 2 of these vines on this walkway. Aim, and then there's a trigger. I think it's R2 on my controller, but I'm unsure. It could be L1 or L2. Where the character is aiming, and he doesn't drop his aim. He just switches to the next enemy. If you do that with these vines, the second vine is guaranteed to die in 1 shot. I have no idea why it works. It just works. So, like that. See that? So I think I give the first vine 2 shots there, and the second one 1. If you don't do this, it may cost you 4. Actually, I've done it in 1 shot each, which is really nice. So potentially you can use 4 explosive rounds there. I used 2. On average, if you do it correctly, you will use 3. It just gives you an extra round for the final boss fight. So we want to head to the save room first. I'll bear them there, and I've actually equipped the grenade launcher there. I like to equip it there because we're going to use it later on. So, but there's a various number of places. There's multiple places that you can actually equip it. Again, you don't want a force menu. Just equip it whenever you can, whenever you need to go into the menu. I actually equip it here because at this point I was killing a hunter, an upcoming hunter that I currently can't avoid. It can be avoided, and you can actually just run past the hunter and escape the room without killing it. But at this point, I was still killing it, and thus I do. We just took a paperweight. It's another item that we use later on in a sort of very weird puzzle. We're heading in here, and the first thing we need to do is grab the valve. So you remember the valve that we got earlier? We need to go get that. And this is quite an interesting series of dodges required now, or it's an interesting... well, basically, there's several ways you can do it. The way I do it really works for me. The way Silent Caster does it is he aims at the first zombie, and that forces the characters to spin around, and it gives them a nice line out. Play around with it, you choose what works best for you. What I do is I run forward a step, do a quick turn, and leave. It doesn't always work. It may not have worked in this run. I don't remember. These guys can fire chest babies that cause damage, and they're quite annoying. So I took a bite. To my credit, I very rarely take a bite there. It would just happen in the run that I'm showing you guys, wouldn't it? But like I say, very rare that I take a bite there. My method works, but there is a slightly more optimal way. Again, see Silent Caster Popo's videos. Through this room, there's a drone. This drone can be avoided. I have never ever dodged it once. I don't know how to do it. And so, like I say, at this point, I was waiting and killing this hunter. You can just run past and leave the room via a door at the opposite end of this corridor. If you do that, when you come back, the hunter's gone. So you don't need to waste a bullet. But, you know, for peace of mind, you can just kill her. Now we're going into an elevator, and next up we want to activate the power. Head through here, and then this door on the right, Chris's left. Over here we need to use the valve handle. This power, we need to turn the power on once, turn it off once. Nothing else. I keep seeing people coming back and turning the power back on later on. There's no need to do it. Power on once now. Take care of business. Back. Okay, there's a bunch of zombies here now. You need to mash hard. Mash, mash, mash. As you can see, I'm not taking damage. I got through that without taking any damage. You need to mash quickly and hard. On the way back through the line that you can take. I'm not sure if I get it in this run. It's a lot easier to come back through this room than it is to go through it. Basically, you know you're about to take those bites or those grabs, so make sure you're mashing really hard. Make sure you're doing it quickly, and you should be fine. Here, we're getting a little throwback to RE1. Some people do this second And then go to the, some people go to the tiger eyes first, you'll see in a minute, and do this second. I do it this way. It makes no difference. Giant turd, whatever it is, anthill. There's an object on the floor here, a wing object. Quick pick up. Head this way. Incidentally, if you go towards the screen as we look now, there's a room at the opposite end of this room. There's nothing in that room. Don't go there. There's nothing in it. There's a herb there if need be. In here. So this puzzle now, we need to... The way this works, that cube dice looking thing is a paperweight. It has symbols. The clue is Alexia and I are opposite sides of the same coin. Like we're intertwined or whatever. And then there's a series of symbols. Basically, the symbol on the opposite side of the basically all of Alexia's symbols, i.e., the symbol on the opposite side of the die or the cube, is the solution to the problem. It's not that complicated when you get it, but we're speedrunning here, right? We're learning. We don't need to know it. The solution is AA, crown, heart, spade. AA, crown, heart, spade. And then you need to put the item into that drawer. And we get a short cutscene which you can actually skip. Basically, poor Alfred's no more. We need to pick up the item that he dropped. So the point of the Chris Antarctic part is to find 3 jewels. So there's a green, red, and blue jewel from each of the Ashford people. So there's Alfred's, there's one from Alexander, Nosferatu, which we get later, and then there's one from Alexia. We also need to find 4 wing items and a dragonfly, and we make the same key like we had earlier. Make it up, and we need that for the end. That's essentially what we're trying to do. So we have Alfred's jewel now. The second part of this is that we're going to get Alexander's jewel, or Nosferatu's jewel. Actually involves a fight with a giant spider, where again we don't actually fight the spider. Sorry, I'm really coffee today. Too many beers. So we've taken a tiger eye. I've actually messed this up here because I have a full inventory, so I've had to use a herb. At this point, you shouldn't have a full inventory. So we need to take that socket, put that back. Incidentally, that tiger only works when the power is on. So at the beginning, you can come across that and the power's off and you can't take the jewels out. Later on, we need both of those jewels, so the power needs to be off. On our way back here now, we're going to turn off the power. We just picked up a socket because we need to use the valve handle one more time. And the shape of the valve hole is different. So we have the socket. Back out here to RE Mansion, and then there we go. This line through there, and there we go. Just practice that, it's a lot easier than you would think. Turn off the power. Again, don't come back here and turn the power on, for goodness sake. Leave, and now we're going back down this, down here. You can actually do the Steve Clare bit now, but it's nowhere near as efficient to do that. So don't do it. Head back down here, grab Alexander's jewel. Do this whole thing first. We're getting close to the end. We're 10 minutes away from the end. In here, that thing dangling down is extinguishing, so you can actually refill the fire extinguisher from the beginning of the game, and that's how you get the Magnum. The Magnum is not that good in this game. You don't need it, so don't bother. Combine these 2 items, use it. We're about to encounter a poison hunter. One grenade shot will do it. Down here, the crane. This item is the crane key. We need it for Alexander's jewel. Didn't get a quick grab. Quick pick up even. There we go. That guy shouldn't be a problem. We have one more poisonous hunter to deal with. That sometimes gives me problems. But you guys are good at this game, so you shouldn't have an issue. And now we're heading back out here, and then the key is to be used in this little booth. It's going to lift up Nosferatu. Alexia's there. This spider can give you some problems. If you take a hit from the spider, it does quite a lot of damage, so you may have to heal. Majority of times, you will be able to avoid this. Or any damage, really. Okay, so we have 2 of the 3 jewels. Now we're heading to perhaps the most scary part of the entire game. It's a rip-off of the RE1 mansion where we're going to fight Alexia, but before we do that, we're going to dispose of that guy there. There's 2 wing objects in this area. There's one here. Let me skip that back 1 second. This one's ridiculously placed. It's here. So we need to go into the water to get it. There's also one just here on the corner. There he is. We need 4 of those items. So, we're not far from the Steve fight. Again, I keep calling them fights. They're not really fights, we're just fleeing, basically. Okay, this bit. This is very important. You want to use the knife. Don't equip the knife. Leave the grenade launcher equipped. Use the knife. After you've successfully avoided Steve, you're shunted right back into this room, and you're immediately in a fight with Alexia. You want the grenade launcher to be equipped. Now, I'll talk about it when we get there. The grenade launcher equipped. Use the knife. Leave the grenade launcher equipped. Incidentally, if Claire was poisoned, this is the point where you would need to go get the serum. Right, I'm grabbing some health items here because I'm a coward. Steve. In the here and now, I can do this Steve fight without needing to heal. Okay, these things are quite annoying. They shoot out of the wall. That first one can be avoided. This second one can stun lock you. If that's the case, what you need to do is walk into this gap and push this desk forward, and you can walk out behind it. You can. So it's happened to me here. Okay. So usually, what happens is Claire is shunted backwards, and you can just run forward past that. If this happens, you can't get past it. You need to do this. I'm taking a fair amount of damage here. So this is a good example. Most of the time you won't need to do that. But you do. That's how you do it. Right, this thing. You pick up this folder, Claire will adjust that cannon and a glass ball falls out with a security card in. And we need to crush the glass ball underneath this ridiculous paving slab that falls from the ceiling. Now, I'm not one to complain about logic in Resident Evil, but this is the stupidest thing ever. And this is incredibly finicky. You will die at this point when you start playing this game. It's an inevitability. Even the good runners. I was watching Levy play this game, and he's really, really good. And he died on a really great pace at this point. I've died here many times. You need to hit the trigger correctly and put the item down. And then you need to pick it up very efficiently. Once you've got it down, it's not too problematic. But for me, this moment is far, far scarier than the Steve fight. If you pick it up too slowly, even if Claire bends down to pick it up, you will still die. You actually get a retry at the beginning of this section, so it's not too bad, but in a speedrun, you can't submit a run with a retry. Okay, so this is Steve. You need to be going into this fight in fine, in caution, and it's all over. So you have 200 HP. I think Steve does 150 damage per swipe. Pardon me. There's a couple of ways to do this. I used to do a damageless route where you run around the back of Steve and you can get away with taking any damage, but it's far, far, far too risky. This method I've stolen from Silentcaster. You're going to take at least one hit, but you may not need to heal. You will figure out while playing the game how far you are from the trigger at the end of this scenario, and so you will know whether you need to heal again or whatever. The way I do it, I run slightly to the right, very quickly, quick turn, and just run back. The reason a lot of people die here is because they don't run straight. You start snaking out of panic, and you're sort of running, zigzagging down this hallway, and Steve will catch you. So I took a hit, but I was close enough to the end to get away with it. If I had not been... Let's see that again. If I had not been that close to the end, I would have needed to heal. You can't take 2 hits from Steve under any circumstances without healing in between. Otherwise, you would die, and you'll have to do that stupid paving slab crushinator puzzle all over again. Okay. But again, we're immediately shunted into this boss fight. Okay, now, this is one of the most annoying things to watch with new people playing this game. I have no idea why they insist on doing it. This fight needs 3 regular grenade rounds. At a push, very, very rarely needs 4. Just stand there and hit her with 3 grenade rounds. Don't run away. Don't try to equip different weapons. Don't do anything fancy. Just shoot her in the face. You might take a little bit of damage. Just do that. So many people, I'm watching so many people learn this game and they refuse to just do that. Flame rounds don't do any damage to Alexia in this form. So don't think, ooh, flame rounds, they're better than grenade rounds. I'm going to use those. Don't bother getting a magnum. Don't do anything fancy. Just shoot her with 3 grenade rounds, for goodness sake. God, I am miserable today. Hungover. Yeah, pick up that item. Again, the fire doesn't do any damage, but, you can actually clip into those stairs. So there's a runner, really cool runner called Bexy93. She actually clipped into the stairs, because what people tend to do is run into the fire, and you're constantly being sent backwards, but it's not doing any damage, so you're fine. Somehow that clipped her into the stairs, and run was over. Made for a really great clip. Get over to her channel and check it out. But if she'd been on pace, I'm not sure if she was on pace, but that was a really ridiculous place to lose it. So be wary of that. These things you need to examine. Remove the jewel. Put all three jewels into this painting. We're very close to the end here, guys. There's about 5 minutes to go. The aim here is to get through this painting. We need to get a key out of a room. Head back down these stairs. Go through the double doors in this room that are previously locked. And pick up the tiger eyes. With this key, you don't need the power to be turned back on. So what I see people doing, because they obviously don't know about this key, is leaving, travelling all the way back, turning off the power, trying to come all the way back, picking up the tiger eyes, and then going all the way back and putting the power back on, just to come through this door here. And you can just go through these double doors. Grab the eyes, and surprise, surprise, these things are ants. Arses, basically. The body of an ant. We're about to enter a copy of the bedrooms that we were in earlier in the game. It's the whole music box and thing all over again. Hidden passageway above beds. It's where we get the final... Well, it's where we get one of the final 2 items we need. So head straight into this room first. You can put the blue item in the music box in the other room, but it wastes time because you're going back there anyway. So into here, take the music plate, back through. Blue jewel in, music plate, up the ladder. Incidentally, there's herbs outside this room, there's herbs up this ladder. There's a first aid spray in a lab coat in the room with the key. So there's plenty of healing available at the end of this game. You can actually get back to the save room where Claire was when we took over it again. You don't need to go there, so just don't bother. What I should have mentioned earlier actually was, when you take back over Claire, don't be tempted to... So if you're aware that that transition is about to take place, don't be tempted to leave any items in the box for Claire, or do anything. As we just saw, Claire does not need any items, or any weapons, or anything like that. Chris needs them. Okay, so leave here. There's a nice line you can take here to avoid damage. I got it. You can actually go inside that zombie as well, or to the left. Down here is the final wing item. Again, don't bother exploring these rooms. Save that for a casual run. Just ammo. There's a mountain of ammunition and healing items in this game. So for a casual playthrough, it's all there for you. Out here, I'm probably going to shoot this fine. Yeah. If you don't have the ammo for it, just walk around like I did with Claire. Now we're about to get a folder off Claire. We need to examine this folder. Ah, this is a great track. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we want to do some admin in this menu. You want to combine the dragonfly with the wings. We want to make sure the bowgun is equipped. And we want to examine the folder. There's a key card inside. Do all this in here. Good to go. And actually, a nice mechanic in this game that I haven't mentioned actually is you don't always have to go into the menu to use keys or key cards. You can actually just approach the lock or the card reader or whatever and just press the action button, and Chris or Claire will intuitively know just to use the item. Saves you going into the menu. We're already in the menu here, so we're just going to use this key. 2 zombies in here. You can fight them if you want or dodge them or whatever. You push that guy off with a dodge. There's a herb in here too. This here is an example of not going into the menu to use a key. So I'm about to go into the map for some reason. I'm about to use this key card without going into the menu. There you go. And then there's a code. The code is actually in a folder earlier in the game, and it's Aquacure. No, it's Veronica. Very easy. I mean, it's literally in the name of the title of the game. This activates the self-destruct system. And then we're heading to the final boss fight. The final boss fight in this game is really easy. Now, if you're playing it casually or the first time, it's not easy, because it's a very poorly designed fight. Sorry, I'll wait till this noise is gone. It's a very poorly designed fight, and it's awkward, and there's like little zombie babies come out, and it's all very awkward. This opening section here, skip the cutscene, and then you need to shoot Alexia. She only has 1 HP, but you need the long-range weapon. You can actually run over to her and knife her, incidentally. There is time to react, but people often don't. Anna can fire the grenade launcher, and it doesn't have the range to do any damage. and she slaps Claire over, and it's a reset, and if it's a speed run, it's the end of the run. Shoot her with the bowgun arrow. Save at least one bowgun arrow for this fight. I have 2. So, the reason I fired both of them there like an idiot. But I had 3 actually. So I've gone into the menu. Okay, so the trick to this fight is number 1, use regular grenade rounds. Number 2, get right up in her face. Get right up in her business. Right close to her and aim up. Fire up at her. Little insect baby things are going to... Sorry. Little insect baby things are going to come out. If they do too much, if they start to cause issues, just run around, run away, and you'll see me moving about. Get straight up there, aim up. Also a great trap, by the way. Like when she screams like that, it's done. Except there's one more round. You got to use the linear launcher, which is a first-person view shooter without auto aim. Now this scares a lot of people. It's not that difficult. Just aim up at her and just shoot in various locations, and she will fly into it eventually. It may take several cycles. You'll get used to this fight. You'll get used to this gun. I tend to just try to shoot where she's going to be. Sometimes she won't fly there. It's obviously RNG. It's nowhere near as bad as it looks. Pick it up. I'd run to the corner. Not really necessary, but I'd run to the corner, equip, and just aim. So, we didn't get it in one cycle. Okay, and then that's time. There's about 10 to 15 minutes of cutscenes at the end here that need to be skipped in a speedrun. The in-game timer runs throughout the cutscenes and the credits. So you can skip the credits. Skip all of this, otherwise the clock. So the clock is still ticking here. I've stopped my timer because we used the in-game time. So it's going to be slightly different from the actual time. But this is the end of the game. This is a great tune, by the way. Also, the final 3 tracks in this game are awesome. Okay. Right. So that's it, guys. Hopefully that was useful. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much. Sorry about the coughing. I've just got a bit of a cough. Slightly hungover. Dehydrated, you know. But hopefully that's useful for some people. Again, if you want to get really good at this game, or you want to get to my level, I'm sort of middling, you know, average to above average, you need to do a couple of things. The best thing to do is to watch a really high level runner, whether it's live on Twitch or whether it be VODs. So you head over to speedrun.com. Everyone's runs are on there. You can just pick one and watch. I like to make notes of the routing. Become familiar with the route, and you will be okay on this game. It's the biggest hurdle to overcome is the route. Please don't be tempted to pick up extra ammo unless it's just for the grenade launcher. Don't go to your way to get extra explosive rounds. Don't pick up flame rounds, acid rounds. Don't keep the handgun. Don't do any of that stuff. Just do exactly what I did there, and you should be able to get through this game in under 2 hours on vanilla. With door skip, you'll do it in less than 2 hours. Again, in the description of this video, you will find, number 1, a guy that Levi the Relentless, cool guy, Twitch streamer. He made a really nice, informative guide on how to set up this game for emulator with the SRT. I presume I haven't really watched the whole video because I play on console. The SRT and the splits and things like that he's probably got on there. All of that stuff is available on the speedrun.com website, or the page for Code Veronica. The DORSkit was developed by a guy called Cadnap. Absolute legend for doing this. Yeah, so check out that. What else did I want to do? Oh, Nermat has got a nice series of videos I'll try to put into the description here for some of the 100% dodges in this game. And yeah, please play this game if possible. Not enough people run this game. As it stands at the moment, door skip has made people a little bit more interested, but again, it's mainly people just doing the glitched any percent. I've done runs in rocket launcher, S rank, glitch and glitchless, and it's slightly hollow. It's just me in several of those leaderboards, which is crap basically. It'd be nice to have some people on there, nice to have some community going, so hopefully this guide or this tutorial or me rambling over over this run is in any way helpful to you. And yeah, good luck with the runs if you're going to do them. Yeah, this is a great, great, great game. Give it a chance. It deserves more of a community. It deserves more people playing the game. And the door skip has made it a hell of a lot more accessible. Think about it. Trance's run, which I think is beyond belief good, was an hour and 38 minutes. Now you can do this in an hour and 13 minutes. It's still long for a Resident Evil run, but this is a really long game. So, relatively speaking, in comparison to the earlier OG games, the game itself is much longer. So there's no way of getting around the fact that the speedrun is going to be longer. But an hour and 13 minutes if you're really good, an hour and 20 if you're okay. I think it's doable. So hopefully this was useful to you guys again, and thank you for watching. Again, sorry I'm rambling, mumbling, or whatever. I'm very hungover. I'll try to apply some captions to this video too, if you can't understand my crazy Scouse accent. Yeah, and I'll see you next time. Good luck with the runs. Bye.